Russian state hackers nearly took down Poland's power grid using wiper malware. And we're seeing malicious AI extensions for VS Code with over 1 million installs stealing source code. It's a heavy morning.
I'm Morgan, and that's Alex. We've got a lot to unpack today, from critical flaws in retired software to physical locks being bypassed at major firms. Let's break it down.
We have to start with a bit of a ghost from the past that just resurfaced. It's CVE 2016-15057. And yes, that is a 2016 ID, but it just hit the database with a critical 9.9 rating.
Wait, 2016? That's nearly a decade ago. Why are we talking about this now? Is this one of those cases where the disclosure queue just stalled?
Exactly. This one's been in the disclosure queue for a while, and it's hitting the NVD now because of how the project was handled. It's a command injection vulnerability in Apache Continuum. The problem is, Apache Continuum is a retired project. They aren't patching it.
Retired software with a 9.9 score. That's a nightmare for legacy systems. If an attacker gets access to the REST API, they can basically run whatever they want on the server, right?
Exactly. Arbitrary commands. Since there's no patch coming, the only real move is to migrate to something else, or, at the very least, lock down that API so only trusted users can touch it. If you're still running Continuum, you're a sitting duck.
It's that technical debt tax coming due. Speaking of critical scores, what's the situation with Springblade? I saw another 9.9 pop up there.
That's CVE 2025-70982. It's an access control issue in Springblade version 4.5.0. Specifically, it's in a function called import user.
Let me guess. Low-level users can do things they definitely shouldn't be able to do?
Spot on. An attacker with very low privileges can use that function to arbitrarily import sensitive user data. When you have a flaw that allows privilege escalation or data manipulation like that, it's an express lane for a full system compromise.
That reminds me of the issues we saw with other rapid development frameworks last year. If the import logic doesn't strictly check who's asking, the whole permission model collapses. Is there a fix out for that one yet?
The recommendation is to audit those access controls immediately. And while we're on the subject of access, we should look at CVE 2026-1428. This one hits a single sign-on portal system developed by WellChoose.
WellChoose, they do a lot of corporate portal work, don't they? An SSO vulnerability is basically the keys to the kingdom.
It really is. This is another OS command injection flaw. If an attacker is authenticated, even with low rights, they can inject commands and execute them directly on the server. It's an 8.8 on the severity scale.
So we've got retired Apache tools, Springblade frameworks, and WellChoose SSO portals all facing command injection or access flaws. It's a bad week for the perimeter.
It really is. But moving away from the code for a second, we need to talk about what's happening in Poland. This is a massive story coming out of the record.
Right, the power grid attack. This was Sandworm, wasn't it? The same Russian group that hit Ukraine's grid years ago?
Likely, yes. Reports are pointing to Sandworm. They targeted Poland's power grid last year, and it was close. They nearly cut electricity to 500,000 people. They were using wiper malware to try and permanently knock out the system.
Wiper malware on a power grid? That's not just data theft. That's attempted sabotage. It's interesting because Poland has been such a massive hub for aid to Ukraine. This feels like a very clear message from Moscow.
It's a classic Sandworm playbook. They don't just want to spy, they want to disrupt. The fact that it was caught before the lights went out is a testament to the defense, but the intent is what's terrifying.
And while state actors are hitting the grid, they're also hitting developers where they live. Did you see the report on those VS Code extensions? 1.5 million installs.
That one is a gut punch for the AI-powered coding trend. Researchers found 2 malicious extensions in the official Visual Studio marketplace. They were marketed as AI coding assistants, but they were actually siphoning source code back to servers in China.
1.5 million developers. Think about the intellectual property in that source code. This is the ultimate supply chain attack. You think you're getting a productivity boost, but you're actually handing over your entire repository.
It's a reminder that just because it's in an official marketplace doesn't mean it's safe. Developers are high-value targets because they have the keys to the software the rest of us use.
Speaking of high-value targets, there was a major ruling in London regarding spyware. A judge awarded $4.1 million to Ghanem al-Massarir, a British critic of the Saudi regime.
That's a significant win. The judge found a compelling basis that Saudi Arabia was behind the spyware infections on his devices. It's rare to see a financial judgment like that against a nation-state in a domestic court.
It sets a precedent for sure. But let's pivot back to something a bit more physical. Dormakaba. We talk about digital locks all the time, but this is about the actual doors.
Right. More than 20 vulnerabilities were found in Dormakaba physical access control systems. These are the systems used by major European firms to secure their buildings. The flaws literally allowed hackers to unlock doors.
That's the nightmare scenario for a CISO. You spend millions on cybersecurity, but someone can just walk through the front door because of a bug in the badge reader's software.
The good news is they've been patched, but it shows the convergence of physical and cybersecurity. If it's connected to the network, it's a target, even the deadbolt.
And finally, we should mention Microsoft. They had to push out emergency updates for a high-severity Office 0 day that's being exploited in the wild. If you haven't run your updates this morning, now is the time.
Definitely. Between that and the EU launching an investigation into X over Grok-generated images, it's a busy day for the regulators and the patch managers alike.
Busy is an understatement. Before we go, Alex, what's the one thing people should do today?
Check your VS Code extensions. If you're using AI assistants that aren't from a major verified vendor, you might want to do a quick audit of what they're actually doing with your code. And of course, patch that Office 0 day.
Your daily AI-powered security briefing. If this saved you time, subscribe. We're here every morning.
Stay patched, stay paranoid.